Good day everyone, Complaining Gamer here, and this is Agony.
What on earth?
So yeah, you would be forgiven for thinking that you've jumped into a time machine and gone back to 2005, but no, this is actually a 2018 release. Now, Agony is a dark fantasy survival horror video game developed by Mad Mind Studio. It's available on PS4, Xbox One and PC, and it's out right now. And I went through the pain of playing it for you so that you never have to. In case this one slipped by you, prior to release it had built up quite a lot of hype, being touted as the darkest, most twisted hell-based game, which pushes the boundaries of acceptance. And now I think you can see why, based on that character model. But it's not over yet. There is voice acting.
Set off on a journey. Follow her to the very peak. On a journey.
Now, in all fairness, not all of the voice acting is delivered that poorly, with the highlight actually being the introduction to the game, with what I'm going to dub as a poor man's David Attenborough.
The Fall. It's the last thing I remember. Memories tear apart my soul, consumed by the endlessly burning fire.
Now, if you've bought this game, rented it, got it from a friend, or found it in a burning fire, this is probably the point of the game where you need to stop playing, because it's all downhill after the introduction, unless you are some absolute masochist. Long story short, I quite enjoyed the game until I actually had to move my character. So about 2 minutes in, you're in hell trying to escape. You're going to experience some poorly executed puzzles with zero direction or meaning, using terrible physics and controls paired with a horrendous stealth system which the game is based around. My experience was as follows. I lasted about 20 minutes before I wanted to chew my own hands off from frustration and boredom, so I forced myself to play longer by streaming Agony in an attempt to push through that initial barrier where I believe most players would abandon all interest. Due to the adult nature of a lot of the content in the game, I need to be careful about what I show you because of the YouTube policy on nudity. And this brings me to a great point about acceptance and censorship. We live in a strange time where we have both the most desensitized population and the most sensitive, which is quite the dichotomy. Again, developer Mad Mind actually had to censor parts of the game to meet the criteria for consoles. Now, I put myself in the category of disturbingly desensitized, so none of the content, whether adult or violent, even made me blink, which I actually think was to the detriment of my experience. You know, I wasn't shocked, disgusted, surprised, scared. I was mostly bored and frustrated. In terms of the censored content, I might save that for another video. Now, I can't honestly recommend this game unless you have a particular fetish for demon breasts and floppy willies. And even with all the patches and updates, it's not enough to fix this game. But it wasn't all bad. One particular positive point for me was the environment. Some of it was executed beautifully.
So for example, I'm a big lover of visuals. That looks fucking cool. Like, that looks cool.
But, of course, that's not enough to hold together a game. There was a secondary moment of joy where I discovered my character's little chappie flopping around down there.
I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. Best thing in the game. Best thing in the game.
I'm getting closer and closer to her.
There are collectibles which you have no real reason to care about, and certain puzzle solutions are based on finding hearts and skulls. Character upgrades aid somewhat in your attempt to hide and stay silent. You'll light your way using torches which attract the attention of a certain enemy, which will kill you again and again and again. The game does provide a lit path to help guide the way to your inevitable death. Later on, you'll gain the ability to possess both human and demon, each of which have certain limitations. Ultimately, you'll most likely eventually grind your way into despair as Agony fails to present enough variety or interest, as the landscape of hell used here doesn't do enough to keep the player engaged, aside from the glitches and mechanics screwing over any painstaking progress you made. In conclusion, horrible game, nice environments. So there you go, people, my opinion on Agony and why you should most likely avoid it, or if you're somehow twisted in the head, this has made you want the game. If you like the video, thumbs up. If you enjoyed the content I create, perhaps consider subscribing. I'll leave all the relevant links below, as well as a link to my Twitch channel if you want to catch one of my streams sometime, and I will see you in the next video.